Emma hadn't heard that name in 3 years. Not in a conversation, not in a news article, not even in the quiet hum of industry gossip that still surrounded her like static. She had made it a rule: no mention of Blackwood, no contracts with Blackwood affiliates, no exceptions. It was the only way she'd stayed sane. So when the knock came at 2:04 in the morning, loud and desperate and far too real, she didn't expect the past to be standing on the other side of the door. Adriana Blackwood looked like a ghost. Hair soaked, black coat dripping onto the floor, makeup ruined, and eyes, God, those eyes, hollow in a way that Emma had never seen, not even during the height of their silent war. For a second, neither of them spoke. Rain hissed behind her like punishment. Emma's hand clenched on the doorknob. "What the hell are you doing here?"
Her voice was calm.
It didn't feel calm. Adriana swallowed. "I didn't know where else to go." "You could have chosen literally anyone else." "I couldn't." Emma almost slammed the door. Almost. But something, maybe curiosity, maybe the way Adriana's fingers trembled, stopped her. "You've got 10 seconds before I call the cops." "I'm not here to hurt you. You did that already. Years ago." "I know." The rain soaked into the hallway carpet. Emma crossed her arms, keeping the door only half open. "Say what you came to say, then leave." "I'm ruined," Adriana said. The words were too simple,
Too small for the weight they carried.
Emma blinked. "Good." Adriana didn't flinch. "I deserve that. You deserve worse." "Probably." Emma leaned against the doorframe. "Let me guess. Fraud? Tax evasion? Or did you finally piss off the wrong billionaire?" "A federal investigation. My board forced me out. My assets are frozen. My family's cut ties. My business partner turned out to be the one bleeding the company dry from the inside, and—" Her voice cracked, a sound so human it startled Emma. "I need your help." Emma laughed. Not kindly. "You destroyed my life." "I know. You made sure I couldn't get hired anywhere in the city." "I know. And now you show up on my doorstep like some fallen queen expecting mercy?" "No," Adriana said softly. "I came expecting hate. I'm just hoping you'll hear me out anyway." Emma should have slammed the door. Should have let her drown in her own mess. But she opened it wider. "Just enough. You've got 5 minutes." Adriana stepped inside. Dripping, shivering. Out of place in Emma's modest apartment. Emma offered no towel. No comfort. She sat across from her, arms crossed, jaw tight. Adriana didn't sit. 3 years ago, what I did to your company, it wasn't personal the way you think it was." "You mean it wasn't revenge for me not sleeping with you?" Adriana flinched. "That's not what it was." "Then explain it. Because from where I stood, you made a move that cut me out of the tech world completely after I turned you down. The company you worked for was a threat to one of our key divisions. I had orders from the board to act. I argued against it. I wanted to protect your team." "Bullshit." "I was overruled. So I compromised. I forced a merger instead of a shutdown. I thought it would buy time. And then half of us were fired.
Publicly.
Including me. I didn't know you were on the cut list until it was too late." Emma stood. "Do you think that matters? You let it happen. You could have stopped it. You had the power." "Not as much as you think." "Then why come to me now?" "What do you want from me, Adriana?" Adriana hesitated. "I want you to audit what's left of my company. I need someone who understands the system, who can track the fraud and prove I wasn't part of it. Hire a firm." "I tried. No one will touch me." "Good."
"Emma."
"Why me?" "Because you're the best. Because you're desperate. Both." Emma stared at her. There was nothing left of the arrogant CEO she remembered. No tailored composure, no calculated smirk. Just wet clothes, swollen eyes, and a voice that cracked on every third word. "I don't owe you anything," Emma said. "I know. You ruined my life." "Yes." "Why the hell should I help you?" Adriana met her gaze. "Because if you don't, everything I built, everything hundreds of people depend on, will collapse. And because maybe, deep down, part of you still wants to know the truth." Emma didn't reply.
Couldn't.
Because the worst part was she did. She wanted to understand what had really happened. She wanted to see Adriana squirm, to hold power for once, to ask all the questions she'd carried for years. But beneath that, she wanted to know why the sight of Adriana broken didn't feel like victory. It felt like something else. Something sharp and unfinished. "Get on the couch," she said. "You're not sleeping here, but you look like shit. And I want you sober when I decide if I'm actually going to help you." Adriana nodded, saying nothing. Emma disappeared into the hallway, returned with a blanket and a glass of water. She threw both onto the coffee table without looking at her. Adriana didn't thank her, just curled in on herself. For a long time, Emma stood at the threshold, watching her. And for the first time since she'd lost everything, she didn't feel powerless. She felt dangerous. And maybe that was exactly what Adriana deserved. Emma didn't sleep that night. She lay in bed listening to the rain tap against the window and the occasional rustle of movement from the living room, where Adriana had settled into her couch like a ghost too proud to ask for comfort. The house smelled faintly of rainwater and old memories, and Emma hated that her mind wouldn't stop replaying the look on Adriana's face when she'd said, "I need your help." Not arrogance, not manipulation, just devastation. But Emma had learned the hard way that even the most broken people could be dangerous. She got up at dawn, showered,
Dressed.
made coffee like it was just another day in her rebuilt life. When she stepped into the living room, Adriana was already awake, sitting upright with her hands wrapped around the mug of untouched water. She looked worse in the morning, eyes bloodshot, jaw tight from a night of no sleep. "You're still here," Emma said flatly. "You didn't kick me out. Don't mistake hesitation for forgiveness." Adriana nodded once. "I don't. So let's get one thing clear. If I decide to help you, it's not for you. It's because I want answers. And maybe, just maybe, I want to make sure the people who actually deserve to go down do. Fair. You'll follow my rules. Of course. And if you lie to me again once, this ends. Deal." Emma poured 2 cups of coffee, placing one in front of Adriana without looking at her. "Start talking." Adriana hesitated. 6 months ago, I started noticing discrepancies. Transfers, missing reports, internal audit flags being buried before they reached my desk. My CFO told me it was a glitch in our systems. I believed him, until the SEC got involved. "What are they investigating?" "Embezzlement, falsified revenue, shell accounts." Emma narrowed her eyes. "And you really had no idea?" "Not until I was blindsided with a subpoena." "Convenient. You think I'm lying?" "I think you built an empire on control. It's hard to believe you suddenly became clueless." "You're not wrong," Adriana said softly. "But the truth is, I trusted the wrong person." "Your business partner?" "Olivia Marks." Emma's stomach turned.
She knew that name.
Knew her reputation. Ruthless.
Brilliant.
Charming in a way that made people forget she was lethal. "You partnered with her?" "She was my co-founder. My friend. My lover. Once, a long time ago." Emma scoffed. Of course she was. Adriana didn't rise to the bait. She helped build the company, and she gutted it from the inside. So go to the press. Burn her down. Without proof, I look like I'm deflecting. I'll be buried next to her. Emma stared at her. "You still haven't told me why me." "Because you know how to dig without leaving fingerprints. Because you understand code, numbers, and motives. Because you're smarter than anyone I ever worked with. And because I hate you," Emma added. "And that makes you honest." Emma studied her for a long time, then grabbed her laptop. "Give me access to everything. I'll send credentials." "Not enough. I want admin keys.
Back doors.
Everything you gave Olivia, I want it too." "Done." Emma hesitated. "And I want control. Full autonomy. You don't get to hover over my shoulder." "I wouldn't dare." "Don't be smug." "I'm not." "Good. Because if you ever try to manipulate me again, I will bury you myself." "Understood." They spent the next 6 hours in silence. Emma working, Adriana reading through legal documents, her phone buzzing every few minutes with calls she didn't answer. Occasionally, she'd glance at Emma with something unreadable in her eyes, like regret or gratitude, or both. Emma ignored her, until the fourth hour, when Adriana broke the silence. "Why did you really turn me down?" Emma didn't look up. "You mean, why didn't I sleep with my boss?" "We weren't working together when I asked. We were still in the same industry. You still held the power. I thought you wanted it too." "I did." The confession hung between them like a crack in the wall. "But I knew what it would cost. And I wasn't willing to burn for you." Adriana's voice dropped. "You already did." "Yeah," Emma said coldly. "And I'm still standing." At the sixth hour, Emma hit something. A redirect buried in old server logs. A transfer trail that looked like a dead end until it didn't. She leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "I found something." Adriana sat up. "What?" "Your company's internal contracts. Someone rerouted the metadata 3 years ago, right before the merger with my startup." "What does that mean?" "It means someone made sure I'd be the first person cut. On purpose." Adriana went pale. That wasn't me." "No," Emma said. "It was her. Olivia. She knew about you and me. She didn't like it." Emma leaned back. "So this really was personal, just not in the way I thought. I never wanted to hurt you, but you did, and now you want me to forget it." "No," Adriana said quietly. "I just want the chance to fix what I can." Emma closed the laptop slowly. "One chance. That's all you get." Adriana nodded. "That's more than I deserve." Emma stood. "You can stay one more night, but tomorrow we work in my office. My turf." "Of course." Emma turned to leave, then paused. "Don't think for a second that I trust you. I wouldn't dare. But if you keep being this honest, I might start to." And she left the room, heart pounding, unsure which part scared her more, the unraveling of the truth, or the way Adriana had looked at her like she still wasn't done falling. Emma didn't expect it to feel this personal again. She told herself it was just business. Just cleanup. Just revenge, dressed as professionalism. But every time she opened another corrupted file, every time she followed a trail that reeked of betrayal, her pulse sped up, not because of the data, but because of who sat across from her. Adriana had traded her sleek power suits for jeans and a worn sweater. Her hair, usually tied in precise knots, now fell loose around her face. She no longer checked her phone compulsively. She no longer barked orders like she ruled the world. She just watched Emma work. Quiet, focused, present. And that made it harder to hate her. On their second day working together, Emma took her to the shared co-working space she used for meetings. It was quiet, minimal, filled with people who didn't know Adriana Blackwood by name. Adriana kept her head down, didn't speak unless spoken to. Emma liked the control, liked having Adriana on her turf, on her terms. She moved through lines of code and financial reports like a surgeon, dismantling the rot with sharp precision. And with every passing hour, her rage sharpened not toward Adriana, but toward Olivia Marks. It became increasingly clear Olivia had orchestrated everything. The embezzlement, the shell companies, even the hit on Emma's startup. Her name didn't appear directly, but the pattern screamed her signature, layered, elegant sabotage designed to burn quietly. On the third day, Emma leaned back from her laptop, eyes tired. She built a shadow empire using your infrastructure. Adriana, seated beside her, looked up. "Can we trace it?" "Not through normal means." "What do you need?" "Access to her personal email, her investment accounts, and her schedule." Adriana blinked. "You're planning something." "I'm planning everything. I forgot how dangerous you are when you focus." "I'm not doing this for you." "Then who?" "The version of me you broke. The one who thought she'd never be worth anything again." Adriana looked away. "I never stopped believing in you. You just never said it. I thought I'd ruined that right." Emma stood abruptly. "We're taking a break. It's barely noon." "I didn't ask permission." They walked in silence down the street until they reached a small corner cafe, Emma's favorite. The barista greeted her by name. Adriana ordered tea, but Emma noticed how her hands trembled when she passed over her card. "You okay?" she asked without thinking. Adriana didn't answer at first. Then, softly, "Do you know what it's like to have everyone look at you and only see your worst decision?" Emma sipped her coffee.
Yes.
"I do." Adriana met her gaze. "I never stopped seeing you either." "You can't say things like that." "Why not?" "Because I still don't trust you." "Then let me earn it." Emma set her cup down. "This isn't about trust. This is about accountability. You don't get to rewrite the past." "I'm not trying to." "You came to me because you had no one left."
You didn't come for me.
"Maybe not at first," Adriana said. "But now, I don't know anymore." Emma hated how much that line hit her, how much it echoed what she didn't want to admit. They finished their drinks in silence. Back at the office, they worked late. The room grew dark around them. Their laptops glowed like beacons in the quiet. Adriana sat closer now. Their arms occasionally brushed. Emma pretended not to notice. But she noticed. Every time. Around midnight, Emma cracked something big. A file hidden behind 4 layers of encryption, dated 3 years back, the week before her firing. It was a message from Olivia to one of her shell accounts. Emma read it twice before speaking. Subject: EB, situation resolved. No longer a threat. Blackwood thinks it's strategic. She won't interfere again. Adriana's face went cold. She meant you. No shit. She played us both. And now we bury her. Emma, don't.
Don't say my name like that.
Like what? Like you still feel something. Because I do. Emma stood. We're done for tonight. Don't walk away. I have to. Adriana reached for her wrist. Just lightly. A contact so subtle it could have been accidental. But it wasn't. Emma froze. You still don't get it, she said. You can't just show up and make me feel this way again. I spent years putting myself back together. I'm not trying to undo that, aren't you? I just want to be allowed to try again. Differently. Emma pulled away. Come back tomorrow. I'll have a plan. But whatever this is, it doesn't leave the room. Understood. Adriana left. The air felt colder after. Emma didn't sleep much. She kept thinking about that message. About Olivia's voice in those words. About how Adriana had been used and how Emma had paid the price. The next morning, she arrived at the office before sunrise. She stared at the wall of data she'd compiled. Then opened a blank document. Operation OM. Under it, she listed every company Olivia had touched. Every name. Every IP. Every account. She was going to take it all. One layer at a time. At 8:17 a.m., Adriana walked in. Emma didn't look up. Are you ready to burn this whole thing down? Adriana stepped forward. Only if you're the one lighting the match. Emma finally looked at her. Really looked. And something flickered in her chest she couldn't ignore anymore. Maybe it wasn't trust yet, but it was something just as dangerous. Possibility. Emma didn't believe in redemption. Not really. She believed in patterns. In consequence. In logic that punished betrayal with silence and severed ties. But as she moved through the data that morning, mapping shell corporations, tracing burner accounts, connecting timelines she should have abandoned years ago, she realized something uncomfortable. She didn't want Adriana to disappear again. Not yet. Not like this. Adriana sat beside her in the private office they now shared, converted from a defunct legal firm Emma occasionally rented when working with sensitive clients. She had shown up dressed like she used to. Black blouse, sleek trousers, no makeup but still composed, still sharp. But Emma noticed the tightness around her eyes. The shadow of someone walking through smoke. I spent all night digging through old files, Adriana said quietly. Found references to 3 more subsidiaries that might be involved. Olivia was using them as distribution points. Emma took the flash drive without a word, plugged it in. You really didn't know? I saw pieces, but not the pattern. And now I see everything, including what I let her do to you. Emma didn't respond. Her fingers danced across the keyboard, cross-referencing names, highlighting connections.
Red.
Yellow.
Red.
It was all there, buried in plain sight. She moved over 8 million through this loop alone, Emma muttered. She used your signature. Fabricated invoices. Altered timestamps. She's been preparing this collapse for years. Why? Because she could. Emma looked up slowly. And because hurting me hurt you. Adriana's face twitched, just slightly. She hated that I was drawn to you. So she ruined us both. Yes. Emma leaned back. We need to expose her. Agreed. And it can't come from me. If I release this data, it looks like retaliation. Then we find someone who can. I already have someone. Emma turned her laptop around. A name glowed on the screen. Cassie Lynn, investigative journalist. We haven't spoken since the merger fallout, but she owed me a favor once. You trust her? I trust that she hates corporate corruption more than she hates me. That'll do. They drafted the message together. Emma compiled the files. Adriana provided timestamps and internal memos to corroborate the trail. By noon, the email was sent. No turning back. They sat in silence for a long time afterward, the weight of the decision pressing between them. You know she'll come for us, Adriana said finally. She won't go quietly. Let her try. Emma looked over. This time I'm ready. And if we lose? Then we lose loud. Together. Adriana's mouth parted slightly. The air shifted. Heated. Tense. Emma stood quickly. We need food. You're deflecting. I'm starving. Adriana didn't push. Instead, she followed her into the small kitchenette down the hall. Emma opened the fridge. Sandwich or leftover takeout? Surprise me? Dangerous request. Adriana leaned against a counter, arms crossed. I'm not afraid of danger. That was obvious the moment you knocked on my door. And yet, you let me in. Still wondering why. No, you're not. Emma turned. Their eyes met. Something charged surged between them. Familiar. Unavoidable. You still want me, Adriana said, low and quiet. Even now. Emma didn't deny it. Didn't lie. But she didn't step closer either. It doesn't matter. Why? Because want isn't enough. It used to be. It destroyed me. Adriana's voice dropped further. And what if I want more than just want? Then you should have said it 3 years ago. I'm saying it now. Too late. Is it? Emma didn't answer. She handed Adriana a container of noodles and walked out. They ate in silence, tension thick in the air. Cassie replied later that evening. Her message was short. This is enough to start a fire. But I'll need confirmation on record. Emma stared at the screen. She wants someone to speak. Adriana looked at her. I will. Are you sure? What more can she take from me? Emma studied her. You're not who you used to be. And neither are you. I'm colder now. No, Adriana said. You're stronger. You're dangerous in a way that doesn't hide anymore. And I was too blind to see it. Why are you saying this? Because I don't want to lose the one thing I regret not fighting for. You didn't fight for me. I'm trying to now. Try harder. Adriana stepped closer. Tell me what you need. Honesty. No spin. No games. Done. And space. Harder. Emma almost laughed. Almost. But it caught in her throat. You still make me angry. Good. That means I still matter. Don't push it. I won't. Emma exhaled slowly. I'll call Cassie. We'll give her the interview. Then we watch the fire burn. And after that? We survive. Together? Don't get ahead of yourself. I already am. That night, Adriana didn't leave. Not because she asked to stay, but because Emma didn't tell her to go. They sat on opposite sides of the room, laptops open, their silence no longer hostile, just tired. At one point, Adriana fell asleep with her head on the arm of the couch. Emma watched her for a long time. She looked younger like that. Not innocent, never that, but real. Human. The woman Emma had once wanted before power and pride tore them apart. Her fingers hovered near Adriana's shoulder, not touching, just close. She didn't know what scared her more, that she might still want her or that she might still forgive her. The next morning Cassie called. Her voice was sharp and impatient. I've got the story ready. Goes live tomorrow unless you say otherwise. Do it, Emma said. You sure? Burn it all. As she hung up, Adriana stirred. Emma turned to her, heart pounding. Tomorrow, everything changes. Adriana nodded. And what about us? Emma hesitated. We'll deal with us when the fire's out. But even as she said it, she already felt the heat. The article dropped at 6:17 a.m. Emma was awake before it hit, pacing the kitchen in her sleep shirt, heart racing in a way that reminded her of fire drills and childhood thunderstorms. Adriana sat at the table, silent, nursing a cup of black coffee she hadn't touched. Neither of them said much. They didn't need to. The air was too heavy with everything they knew was about to break. Inside Blackwood's collapse, fraud, betrayal, and the woman who fought back. The headline was loud, aggressive, personal. Cassie didn't hold back. The article exposed Olivia's entire scheme: backdated contracts, illegal asset transfers, internal emails implicating her directly. It also mentioned Adriana's role, her silence, her guilt. And it mentioned Emma, not by name, but as a former employee strategically targeted and erased. Emma read it 3 times, then closed the laptop slowly. It's out, she said. Adriana nodded. Let the games begin. The fallout came fast. Adriana's phone lit up with messages, board members, lawyers, former investors. Emma's email exploded with interview requests, contract offers, veiled threats. She ignored them all. By noon, Olivia had issued a statement. It was vague, performative, filled with denials and legalese. Adriana read it and laughed. She's spiraling.
Good.
She'll come for us. Let her try. They spent the rest of the day responding strategically. Emma connected Cassie with additional sources. Adriana contacted her legal team and submitted a sworn statement aligning herself with the investigation. For the first time in years, she wasn't protecting the company. She was protecting the truth. That night, Emma found her standing on the balcony of her apartment, shoulders bare in the chill, staring out at a city that once worshipped her and now wanted blood. You okay? Emma asked. Adriana didn't turn. I don't know what I am. You did the right thing. Too late. Better than never. They'll destroy my name. Maybe. But at least you'll know who you are when it's over. Adriana turned then. Her eyes were tired but clear. Do you still hate me? Some days. And today? Emma stepped closer. Today, I just don't know what to do with you. Let me stay, Adriana said. Not just in your apartment. In your space. Your life. You don't get to ask that. I know. Emma looked at her, really looked. The woman in front of her was not the Adriana Blackwood who had walked into her life like a hurricane 3 years ago. This one was softer around the edges. Still steel underneath, but now with cracks she didn't bother hiding. Tell me something honest, Emma said. No spin. No strategy. Adriana took a breath. I never stopped thinking about you. Not for one day. That's not enough. It's not meant to be, but it's true. Emma leaned against the balcony railing, watching her. You made me feel small. Disposable. I know. You were everything I couldn't touch, and then you crushed me when I dared to try. Adriana nodded. And now I'd give anything to be allowed close again. They stood in silence for a while, the city pulsing around them. Then Emma said, Why did you really come to me that night? Because I trusted you more than I trusted anyone else. Even after everything. And because I didn't want to die without making it right. Emma swallowed. You haven't made it right yet, but I'm still trying. They didn't kiss. Not yet. But the distance between them felt like a thread pulled too tight, ready to snap. Emma stepped back. You can stay tonight. Couch is yours. You sure? Don't make me change my mind. Adriana smiled. Wouldn't dream of it. At 2 a.m., Emma woke to the sound of pacing. She got up, walked into the living room. Adriana was by the window, barefoot, eyes red. Couldn't sleep? Emma asked. I keep thinking this doesn't fix it.
No.
But it's a start. You're the only person who makes me feel like I can survive this. I'm not your lifeline, Adriana. I know, but maybe I'm willing to be something else. If you're honest with me, if you stop pretending you don't still want me. Adriana looked like she'd been slapped. You think I'm pretending? I think you're terrified. I am. Good. Emma stepped closer. You should be. Their faces were inches apart, breathing the same air. Emma didn't close the gap. She just stood there, making Adriana feel every inch of the space between them. You don't get to touch me until you mean it, she whispered. All of it. No hiding. No control. I've never wanted anything more, Adriana said, voice raw. Emma nodded. Then prove it. And she walked away, heart pounding so hard it hurt. The next day, Blackwood's board publicly cut ties with Olivia. Cassie published a follow-up article with Emma's name included this time, the whistleblower's whistleblower. Emma's inbox flooded again. Offers.
Praise.
Apologies. But none of it mattered. Not as much as the quiet knock on her bedroom door that night. Adriana stood there, barefoot again. No makeup. No walls. Just her. I'm not here to ask, she said. I'm here to say thank you for not letting me drown, even when I deserved to. Emma didn't speak, just looked at her, and after a moment, Adriana turned to leave. Wait, Emma said. Adriana froze.
Stay.
Just sleep. Nothing else. Adriana nodded. Emma made space in her bed, and Adriana slid in like it was the most natural thing in the world. They didn't touch, but they didn't sleep far apart. When morning came, Emma found herself curled against her, warm and calm in a way that terrified her more than chaos ever had. Adriana was already awake, watching her. You're still here, Emma whispered. I said I wouldn't leave unless you told me to. I'm not telling you to. Adriana smiled. Then I'm not going anywhere. And for the first time in years, Emma believed her. For the first time in a long time, Emma woke up without a weight on her chest. Not because everything was fixed, far from it, but because for once, she wasn't holding it all alone. The sunlight crept in through the blinds, brushing over tangled sheets and the quiet curve of Adriana's shoulder where the blanket had slipped. She was still asleep, barely breathing, her lips parted in the way that only happened when someone was truly exhausted. Emma stared at her for too long, told herself she was cataloging signs of stress, noting how different Adriana looked without armor. But that was a lie. She just wanted to look, to remember. Adriana stirred, blinked, and then, without moving, whispered, You stayed. It's my bed, Emma said dryly. I meant next to me. You didn't make a move, so I didn't have to kill you. Adriana let out a soft laugh, the kind that curled at the edges. There's a compliment in there somewhere. Emma sat up. Don't get used to it. Too late. She stretched, long and slow, like her body had finally started to believe it wasn't in crisis mode. Emma tried not to look at the way her shirt rode up, or the delicate scar just below her ribs. She failed. We need to talk about what's next, she said. Adriana nodded. I figured the silence wouldn't last. You're no longer under investigation. The SEC has what they need. Your name's clearing. Slowly. And Olivia? Hiding. Probably lawyering up. Do we go after her again?
No.
We let the system do what it does. We already lit the match. Now we watch it burn. Adriana looked over at her. And us. Emma didn't flinch. There is no us. Not yet. But maybe. If you keep showing up. If you keep being honest. If you stop trying to control every room you walk into. That's a lot of ifs. You were never easy. Why would this be? Adriana nodded, absorbing it without resistance. That alone surprised Emma. They got dressed quietly. Emma made coffee. Adriana answered 2 calls and ignored 6 others. Emma watched her from across the kitchen island, coffee in hand, and realized she still hadn't figured out how to exist in this version of reality, where the woman who once destroyed her now moved through her home like she belonged there. "Do you miss it?" she asked suddenly. "The company. The power." Adriana tilted her head. "I miss the purpose. The noise. I don't miss the lies." "So what now?" "I don't know. Maybe I let it all fall and start from scratch. Do something small. Honest." "You don't sound so shocked. You used to measure value in billions. Now I measure it in people who answer my calls without hate in their voice." "That's bleak." "It's honest." Emma sipped her coffee. "Do you want to stay here?"
For now.
Adriana blinked. "Do you want me to?" "I didn't say that. But you didn't say no." Emma set her mug down. "You can stay, but we take this slow. No assumptions. No touching unless I say. No games." "Are you always this strict?" "Only with people who once destroyed me and then asked to sleep in my bed." "Fair." Emma turned away, but she was smiling. She didn't let Adriana see it. Over the next week, they built something strange. Not quite domestic, not quite professional. Emma worked on new contracts. Adriana handled legal loose ends. They ordered takeout and argued over what to watch. They fought, once, about a message from an old board member who wanted to bring Adriana back in. Emma had said no before Adriana even answered. "You can't go back to the thing that made you rot," she snapped. "You think I don't know that?" Adriana shot back. "Then why didn't you shut it down immediately?" "Because part of me misses it. Not the lies. The work. The mission. The part where I got to be good at something. Then build something new. I don't know how." Emma stepped closer. "Then learn. Like I did." They didn't speak for an hour after that. But that night, Adriana left a cup of tea by Emma's desk without saying a word. The next day, Emma found Adriana sketching something on a legal pad, flowcharts, ideas, maybe something that resembled a startup but looked nothing like Blackwood Corporation. Emma didn't interrupt. But something in her chest pulled tighter. One night, the power went out during a thunderstorm. They lit candles, sat across from each other in silence. Then Adriana said, out of nowhere, "I still remember the way you looked at me when I offered you that position 3 years ago. Like I wanted to believe you weren't playing me. And now I don't know what I believe, but I see you clearer. That's something." Emma reached for her wine. Their fingers brushed. This time, she didn't pull away. Adriana inhaled sharply. "You said no touching." "I said no touching without permission." "So?" Emma met her gaze. "I'm not ready, but I'm closer than I was yesterday." Adriana nodded, eyes full of something almost unbearable. "I can wait." "Can you?" "If it's for you, yes." Silence again. Not awkward, just full. They sat there as the storm cracked outside, the air between them warm and electric. When Emma finally went to bed, she left the door open. Adriana didn't follow, but she didn't sleep far away. And somehow, that meant more. The next morning, Adriana made breakfast.
Badly.
Emma teased her about it, and Adriana blushed for the first time Emma had ever seen. They talked about starting a new consultancy. Joint ownership. Clean reputation. Emma didn't say yes. But she didn't say no either. That afternoon, a new email arrived. Subject line: whistleblower retaliation incoming. It was from a private account. Olivia's. Attached, a single sentence. "I'm not done with either of you." Emma stared at it and smiled. "She's scared." Adriana looked over. "Good. You ready to finish this?" Emma said. Adriana stood, side by side. "Always." And just like that, the storm wasn't over. But this time, they weren't standing in it alone. The email from Olivia haunted Emma long after she closed her laptop. "I'm not done with either of you." 6 words. That was all it took to unravel the fragile quiet they'd built. Adriana didn't react at first. Just stared at the screen, expression unreadable. Emma watched her, searching for something, fear, anger, doubt, but saw only stillness. "What does she mean by that?" Emma asked. Adriana's jaw tightened. I don't know. Don't lie to me. I'm not. She's threatening us. She's desperate. That doesn't make her less dangerous. Adriana nodded slowly. I'll handle it. No, Emma, you don't get to shield me. Not anymore. It's not about shielding you. It's about finishing something I started. She came after me, too. And I hate that. I hate what she did to you. What I let happen. Then stop trying to fix it alone. Adriana exhaled sharply. Old habits. Unlearn them. They didn't speak for the next hour. Emma dove into the email headers, tracing IPs. Adriana called a private security contact, but the air between them had shifted. Again. The silence was no longer full of tension. It was heavy with shared fear. At noon, a package arrived. No name. No return address. Adriana opened it with a knife, cautious. Inside, a single USB drive and a note. Play me, or I play you. Emma inserted the drive into an isolated device. A video opened. Olivia, filmed in low light. She looked calm. Too calm. If you're watching this, congratulations. You won round 1. But the war's not over. See, I always plan for betrayal. Always. Which is why I made sure to record everything. The video cut to security footage, grainy, dated 3 years back. Adriana, in her office, with Emma. A moment of closeness. An almost kiss. Then, a conversation. The audio was muffled, but enough got through. Adriana saying, she's a liability. Emma felt her stomach drop. She looked at Adriana slowly. What is this? Adriana paled. I don't remember saying that. But you did. Out of context, Emma, you have to believe me. Do I? That was before I understood what Olivia was planning. Before I knew she was targeting you.
But you knew I was at risk.
And you still said that. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? Adriana stepped forward. I was trying to protect you. Ironically. By calling me a liability? By trying to keep Olivia from seeing how much I cared. Emma's chest tightened. You think that makes it better?
No.
I think it makes it true. Emma turned away. I told you. No lies. No games. It wasn't a lie. It was worse. It was cowardice. Adriana didn't follow her. Just stood there, wounded. I can't erase the past, she said finally. But I can keep choosing you now. Then prove it.
How?
Destroy her.
Publicly.
No more holding back. Adriana's eyes hardened. Done. They spent the next 2 days tearing through legal files, press contacts, and everything Olivia had touched. Emma fed Cassie new information. Adriana contacted Olivia's most loyal remaining allies and quietly turned them.
It was war now.
And both women fought like they had nothing left to lose. But the damage from that video lingered. Emma avoided long eye contact. Slept facing the opposite side of the bed. Adriana didn't push. But every glance was loaded with unsaid apologies. On the 3rd night, Emma woke from a nightmare. Cold sweat, clenched fists, breath caught in her throat. Adriana was already sitting up, watching her. You were crying, she said softly. No, I wasn't. Emma. It's fine. Adriana reached over, but stopped an inch away. Tell me what you need. Emma looked at her. Really looked. And saw it. Not the CEO, not the woman who once crushed her, but someone scared of never being enough again. I don't know, she whispered. Then I'll stay here until you figure it out. Emma didn't say yes. But she didn't push her away. And that, somehow, felt more intimate than a kiss. The next morning, Cassie published the kill shot. Olivia Marks implicated in 3 international fraud cases. The story trended for 12 hours straight. Olivia went dark. Legal teams mobilized. Former board members began issuing apologies. Public, groveling. Adriana stood in the kitchen reading every line with her hands shaking. Emma watched her.
You did it, she said.
Adriana looked up. We did it. So what now? Now we figure out if there's anything left of us to rebuild. You think we can? Only if you stop looking at me like I might betray you again. I'm trying. Try harder. Emma stepped closer. You don't get to demand that. I'm not demanding. I'm begging. Emma's lips parted, but no words came. Not yet. She wasn't ready, but she was close. Closer than she'd ever been. That night, she kissed Adriana's cheek.
Soft.
Deliberate. And walked away before she could see the reaction. Adriana didn't call out. Didn't chase. But when Emma looked back once, just once, she saw her standing in the hallway, touching the spot where her lips had been, as if memorizing it. The next morning, a new email arrived. From Olivia's lawyers. Subject line, settle. Or burn. Emma read it.
Laughed.
She wants mercy. Adriana took the laptop from her hands. She came to the wrong people for that. And hit delete. There was a strange stillness in the days after the final email. As if the war had ended, but no one remembered how to breathe again. Olivia's silence became its own answer. Her lawyers withdrew their threats within 48 hours. The SEC confirmed formal charges were being filed. Cassie published a third piece, colder than the first two, calling Olivia the ghost of a collapsing empire and citing Emma as the single most credible source in the case. The city, for once, sided with the right person. And yet, Emma felt nothing like victory. Because when the dust cleared, when the adrenaline ran dry, all that was left was this woman in her apartment. Adriana Blackwood. Beautiful.
Bruised.
Infuriatingly honest. And still, somehow, hers. They didn't talk about what would come next.
Not yet.
Emma buried herself in small tasks, sorting files, cleaning her inbox, drafting contracts she wasn't ready to send. Adriana cooked badly and insisted on doing laundry like it was a form of penance. They coexisted like two planets pulled into the same orbit.
Close.
Too close. But never colliding. Until Thursday night. Emma came home later than usual. She'd gone for a walk, trying to silence the thoughts clawing at her ribs. When she entered the apartment, Adriana was seated on the floor, back against the wall, a bottle of wine half empty beside her, and a look on her face Emma couldn't read. Everything okay? Emma asked, cautious. Adriana didn't move. I was waiting for you. Did something happen?
Yes.
And no. You're drunk. Not really. Emma kicked off her shoes. Walked to the kitchen. Want food? I want to know if you're ever going to forgive me. Emma froze. Her fingers hovered over the drawer handle. That's what this is? Not a performance. Not a game. Just a question. Emma turned slowly. You already know the answer. I don't. Then you haven't been paying attention. Adriana stood now.
Carefully.
I pay attention to everything you do. Every breath. Every look. Then you know I'm terrified. Of me. Of what it would mean to let you back in. Then let me meet you halfway. Emma crossed her arms. Words don't work on me the way they used to. Then let me show you.
How?
Adriana stepped forward. By staying. By being patient. By not touching you until you ask me to. By being the woman you needed 3 years ago and never got. Emma's throat tightened. You say that like it's easy. It's not. But it's worth it. Why? Because I'm still in love with you. The words landed like a hit to the chest. Not soft. Not gentle. Just real. Emma blinked. You don't get to say that. I just did. You don't mean it. I mean it so much I'm shaking. And she was.
Slightly.
Her hands trembled at her sides, her voice steadier than her body. Emma took one step closer. You think I didn't feel something back then? I think you buried it. Because you made me. Then dig it out now. Please. Emma's hands were clenched. Her heart beat too loud. You ruined me. And I never stopped regretting it. You called me a liability. And I called myself a fool. You could have had me, Emma said, voice breaking. You had me, and you chose fear. I won't again. Silence stretched between them like a razor wire. Then Emma whispered, say it again.
What?
That you love me. Adriana took a breath like it hurt. I love you. Emma didn't answer. She didn't step closer. She just stood there, exposed, unraveling. And finally, after all the war, All the pain, she said. Then prove it.
How?
Let me walk away. Adriana's eyes widened. What? I need to know you're not just fighting for me because you lost everything else. I need to know you see me, not the idea of redemption. I do. Then let me go. And if I come back, it's real. Adriana nodded slowly. Okay. You're not going to fight? Not tonight. Emma walked to the door, opened it, and before she left, she turned. I'm not walking away because I want to be free of you. I'm walking away because I need to know I choose you. Not out of pain, not out of memory, but because it's true. Adriana nodded once, no tears, no protest. I'll be here. Emma left. The hallway was cold, the night silent, but her heart wasn't. And neither was the space she had left behind. 3 days. That's how long Emma stayed away. Long enough to be missed, short enough to still be remembered. She didn't tell anyone where she went. She just packed a bag, left her phone behind, and drove until the city disappeared in her rear-view mirror. She stayed at a friend's cabin 2 hours north, surrounded by silence and trees too tall to blame for anything. It wasn't peace. It wasn't clarity. It was space. And in that space, she heard her own thoughts for the first time in weeks. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She didn't fall apart. She just sat with the questions. Who was she now? Who was Adriana now? Could you ever love someone who once broke you so cleanly it left no blood? Just empty space where something used to live? Could you trust that same person to hold what remained? The answers didn't come easily, but they came. And by the 4th morning, when the sun rose too stubborn and too bright to ignore, Emma packed her things and drove back. Back to the city. Back to the noise. Back to the woman who still haunted her like gravity. She didn't call ahead. Didn't knock. She used her key. Adriana was sitting on the floor of the living room, same position as the night Emma left, back against the wall, bottle untouched beside her. When the door opened, she didn't flinch. Didn't move. Just looked up. You came back, she said softly. Emma dropped her bag without a word, walked into the room,
And sat down.
not beside her. Not yet. Across. Enough distance to hurt. I needed to know, Emma said, voice low. If it was mine. This choice. If you were mine. Adriana's eyes didn't blink. And I still don't know if I forgive you. I can live with that. But I didn't come back to punish you. Then why? Because even when I hated you, I never stopped loving you. Adriana inhaled sharply, like the words had been pulled from her lungs instead of given. Say it again, she whispered. I never stopped loving you. You're sure? I hate how sure I am. Adriana didn't smile. She didn't move. So what happens now? Emma leaned forward. Now you stop hiding behind guilt. Stop walking on eggshells. If we're doing this, we do it real.
Raw.
Unforgivable, maybe, but true. And if I mess up, then you tell me before I find out. Then you fight for me before you lose me again. I will. I need to hear it. Adriana's voice didn't shake. I'll fight for you. Every day. Until you believe it. Emma finally stood, crossed the space between them, sat beside her. Their arms touched.
Warm.
Familiar. But new. I'm still scared, Emma admitted. So am I. Good. Adriana turned her face toward her. Can I touch you? Yes. Fingers brushed against Emma's hand, tentative and reverent. No rush. No assumption. Just contact. Just permission. Emma didn't pull away. Their fingers laced together slowly, like a memory trying to be rewritten. I keep thinking about the first time I saw you, Adriana said quietly. In that meeting, you were wearing blue. You looked like the storm I didn't know I was about to drown in. You flirted like it was your job. It was, in a way, I was trying to win you, before I knew what that meant. And now? Emma asked. Adriana looked at her, eyes full of something deeper than remorse. Now I'm just trying not to lose you again. You already did, Emma said. What you're doing now is proving you deserve the second chance. Do I? Not yet, but you're close. That night, they didn't kiss. Not yet. They sat together in silence, hands clasped, breathing together. It was enough. For now. The next morning, Emma opened her inbox to a flood of invitations, speaking events, TED Talk pitches, investor inquiries. She deleted most. One, she answered. A nonprofit asking for her to consult on ethical tech systems. Small team. No corruption.
She said yes.
Adriana smiled when she told her. I think that's the first real yes I've heard from you. Don't get used to it. Too late. Days pass like that. Not perfect. Not easy. But earned. Adriana cooked less badly. Emma made coffee without scowling. They didn't talk about titles. About us. Not yet. The ground was still settling. But it held. Then one night, Adriana brought home a small envelope. Placed it on the counter. Emma frowned. What's this? Something I need you to see. Inside, a letter. Handwritten. No logo. No threat. Just words. I'm leaving the country. I've lost. But you, both of you, will always owe me for what you took. I'll be watching. No signature. But they didn't need one. Olivia. Emma looked up. Is this a threat? A warning? Are we safe? Yes. Do you believe her? I don't think she'll come back. She's a ghost now. And ghosts only haunt what they can't stop loving, or what they can't let go of. Which are we? Maybe both. Emma nodded. We still go on. Together? Emma looked her dead in the eye. Don't ask for that until you're ready to hold it with both hands. Adriana stepped closer. I am. Emma's voice was barely above a breath. Then show me. And this time, when Adriana leaned in, Emma didn't pull away. But she didn't kiss her either. Not yet. Tomorrow, Emma whispered. Tomorrow? If you still feel this way tomorrow, I'll let you kiss me. Adriana smiled, something soft and broken and bright all at once. Then I'll make sure you don't doubt it. That night, they slept in the same bed again. This time, facing each other. No touches. No tension. Just anticipation. And in the quiet, Emma finally let her eyes close, knowing she wouldn't have to face the next day alone. Morning came softly. Emma woke slowly, blinking into the pale light slipping through the curtains, the city's usual chaos still muffled by early-hour silence. Adriana wasn't in bed. Her side of the mattress was warm, a faint indent where she had slept curled inward like she was afraid to take up too much space. Emma sat up. The room smelled like coffee. She padded into the kitchen and found Adriana barefoot, hair messy, wearing one of Emma's hoodies, pouring 2 mugs. You drink coffee now? Emma asked, voice hoarse from sleep. Adriana looked over her shoulder. Only yours. Emma leaned against the doorframe, watching her. It's tomorrow. It is. Still feel the same? Adriana crossed the kitchen slowly, mug in each hand. More. She handed one to Emma and waited. Emma sipped it, then set it down. I don't want promises, she said. I don't want speeches or poetry or grand gestures. I just want the truth. Adriana nodded. The truth is I was a coward. The truth is I let fear win and made you collateral damage. The truth is that everything I built meant nothing the moment you walked away from me. Emma's pulse flickered. And now? Now I'm not building anything unless you're part of it. Even if I say no, then I still stay. I won't beg. I won't pressure. I'll just keep showing up. As the version of me that should have existed all along. Emma stepped closer. That's the first thing you've said that didn't sound rehearsed. I meant every word. Then kiss me. Adriana didn't ask twice. She stepped forward, closed the distance, and kissed her like she'd been holding her breath for 3 years. It wasn't perfect. It was trembling and uneven, lips pressed too hard, breath stolen too fast, but it was real. And Emma kissed her back. No hesitation. No fear. Just surrender. Just finally. When they broke apart, Emma kept her forehead pressed to Adriana's. You always did ruin me, she whispered. Then let me ruin you softly this time. No more ruins. Just us. Just whatever this is now. A beginning. A risk. A choice. They smiled. That day, they walked through the city without hiding. Adriana held Emma's hand like it anchored her. Emma didn't flinch when people stared. Cassie sent them both a message. Finally. They laughed. They had lunch at the same cafe where Emma once walked out on her. Adriana ordered her own food this time. Emma teased her about it. That night, they curled into each other on the couch. Adriana kissed the back of Emma's hand absent-mindedly. Emma closed her eyes and breathed her in. You ever think we'd get here?
Adriana asked.
No, Emma said. But I wanted it. Even when you hated me? Especially then. Love stupid like that. So, we're doing this? We are. No more running? Not unless it's toward me. Adriana pulled her closer. Always. Days turned into weeks. They launched the consultancy, Blackwood and Bell, though Emma hated the name. Adriana insisted it mattered that her name stood beside Emma's, not above. Emma agreed. Eventually, they worked together. Laughed more than they fought. Fought more than they kissed, at first. Then that balance shifted, too. They moved into a new place. Neutral ground. No ghosts. No borrowed spaces. One night, Emma came home to find Adriana building furniture badly. She didn't say a word, just helped her finish it. Later, in bed, Adriana whispered, still scared? Emma kissed her shoulder. Yes. Me too. Good. One morning, Emma opened her inbox and found a message from Olivia. No threats. Just silence. A subject line with no body. I lost. Emma didn't respond. She didn't tell Adriana. She just deleted it and walked into the living room where Adriana was asleep on the couch with their shared dog curled on her chest. Yes, they got a dog because Emma once said, I don't trust people who don't like dogs, and Adriana replied, then let's get you one to trust me with. Life, in its ordinary mess, had never felt so deliberate. One night, months later, Emma stood on the balcony looking out at the skyline, fingers wrapped around a glass of wine, while Adriana stood behind her. Do you think we deserve this? Adriana asked. No, Emma replied. But we earned it. Still love me? Every version of you. Even the old one? Especially her. She made this one possible. Adriana kissed her neck. You know I'm never letting you go. Emma leaned back into her. Then hold on tight.
And she did.